Time and creativity seem like two very opposing factors when it comes to accomplishing your artistic projects. We are always told that creativity is limitless and that our imagination knows no bounds. Time, on the other hand, is limited. And if you're working on a project that's not just for self-gratification, then you're most likely working on a deadline. So, how do you deal with time? How do you make sure that creativity strikes right when you need it? In this video, I will be sharing with you my time management tips and show you how to optimize time and creativity in the best way possible. Welcome to Productively Creative, a 5-part series where I share tips and ideas on how to stay productive without having to compromise your creativity. As an artist, author, and creative entrepreneur myself, I know how overwhelming it can be to have so many things on your plate. And at the same time, you may feel like time is running out, it's not on your side, and with this, you might be stretching yourself and your creativity too thin. So if you want to know more about time management and how it can help you stay on track with your goals and deadlines, make sure to keep watching this video, subscribe to my channel for more, as well as click on the bell for notifications for when our next episode drops. The reality is that time is a finite resource. Some of you may have a day job and can only do creative projects on the side. Or maybe you're like me who wears a lot of hats as a self-employed business owner. This makes time management essential because we only get 24 hours per day and we want to make sure that we get the most out of that without having to sacrifice time for rest and relaxation. Planning ahead of time helps you establish your limitations and allows you to be more realistic about what you can accomplish in a certain number of hours in a day. And once you get into the habit of keeping a schedule and getting your tasks in order, you can then make time for both work and personal endeavors. Meeting deadlines does not always have to be stressful. I know that as artists, we are so used to working on our own time and waiting for inspiration to strike so that we can do the work. But if you're serious about reaching your goals as a creative, mastering the art of time management will help you increase and improve your efficiency and your productivity. As I've mentioned on the first episode of Productively Creative, I use Notion as my main digital dashboard. I'll link the video up here if you want to check it out, as well as if you want to know more about the analog and digital tools I use for my productivity system. So in a nutshell, my dashboard is an overview of all the things I need to do. It's where my home base is on the digital space, and it helps me get things done. The basic idea of how it works is every quarter, I take a look at my goals and reevaluate my priorities, which then helps me figure out what I need to focus on for the coming months. So I'm pretty ambitious with my big picture goals for this quarter. The first one is, of course, to submit my final book deadline, which is probably sometime in November. The second one is to grow this YouTube channel, slowly but surely, but we're getting there. And the last one is one of my all-time goals for the year, is basically to release all the remainder products that I have to release for my shop. This includes a journal, some washi tape, some boxes to round up the year. Now, these 3 goals are not particularly all the things I have to do, but they serve as some sort of guiding star into helping me plan in terms of days, weeks, and months. So the question that you always ask me is, how do I lay out my tasks based on days, weeks, and months derived from my main goals? I will quickly show you around before we go ahead and write the to-dos for the week. So this is the first part. When you land on the dashboard page, this is what it looks like. I just have like a couple of notes to self and a little reminder of my overall vision as a creative. And then here is our editable area, the weekly overview. And then here at the bottom, I do have like a calendar showing my monthly obligations. Here at the bottom, I have an overview of the type of work that I am doing at the moment. And then when you scroll down here, this is what I really wanted to show you specifically. So every week of the month, I do already have a couple of things that I have to take note of. For example, digital downloads, resource toolkit, blog update for the week 1, Week 4 is more of my admin stuff, like paying my team, having the workshop, and making sure that I prepare in time for a new month. And then for weekly, I also decided to structure them this way. So for the weekly overview, I do have a set of tasks for every day. And this doesn't mean that I have to do this every single Monday. I can pick one or two, but I make sure that they are either of these tasks. And you will see that on Monday, my priority is Patreon and YouTube. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer these to the weekly overview here. So actually on Monday, I took a day off. So we're gonna type day off. Yay, day off. And then I'll quickly show you how it looks like here on a daily basis. So for example, for Tuesday, main focus is actually YouTube because I am filming this video. And then I'm going to click add a new task. For the tasks, I make sure that I only have like 3 max. So for example, the first task would be 9 to 11 a.m. filming of ACAM. The second one, I have lunch. So ideally like 1 to 3 p.m. would be episode 1 edits and B-roll footage. 3 to 4 p.m. pack scening boxes. So this is something that I do every day. And from that, I'll be able to sort of figure out how things progress as the week goes by. So when you're creating your personal dashboard, you don't have to use Notion. You can simply use any other digital app that you find useful. You can even use your Notes app for that. I just found that using Notion has really helped me because I personally use Notion for all aspects of my work. So when I log in my computer every morning, the first thing I click is the Notion icon. So that way I'm able to see my dashboard and see what needs to get done in a certain day, week, or month. But you can also go analog and actually have a whiteboard or a corkboard just so you can see things visually. I believe in the power of vision boards and manifesting things. So maybe you could create like a vision board and a dashboard, vision dashboard, all in one. So it really depends on what system works for you. Creating a dashboard and keeping a schedule are just half the battle. Now you need to actually do the work and stick to whatever schedule you put out, of course with flexibility in between. It goes without saying that distraction is definitely everywhere in this day and age. I myself have been learning to be more focused with my work, but it really takes a lot of energy to really focus and not get distracted. It's so easy right now to get sidetracked into random things. You know, you open your email, 5 minutes later, you're actually browsing on Instagram on your phone while waiting for your inbox to load. And you know, it becomes a cycle, and at the end of the day, you just get worn out and you're not able to produce anything creative in the process. So in order to manage your time better, I have a couple of tools that you can use in order for you to make the most out of each day and each fraction of time that you need to be working on what you're working on. So these methods are the time blocking method and the Pomodoro method. I first encountered time blocking from Cal Newport's book, Deep Work. I actually really love this book. I just found it super useful, especially because I was slowly getting into a phase where I didn't want to work anymore because I just get constantly distracted. So reading this book helped me like reset a lot of that. The main goal is to give every minute a job, and you partition your days into blocks of time and assign specific work to these blocks. So my usual time blocks in a day would be from 9 to 11 a.m. in the morning. I would have lunch, and then 1 to 3 p.m. in the afternoon. So anything after or before those times are, you know, they're movable. I try not to work actually very early in the day. I also try not to end work at 6 unless I really have a big deadline that is due or a really important email that I have to attend to. Just having these blocks helps me also figure out, like, in a day I only have 2 to 3 major projects that I really have to pay attention to. As you've seen in my Notion dashboard walkthrough, I do specifically assign specific days for every project that I have to work on. So my body has sort of gotten used to it since I've been doing this system since probably like March or April this year, and it's really helped me with my productivity. This is also something I advise to you if you're working on a big deadline, because it can be so hard to look at things from a big picture scale. For example, if you're working on a book like me, what I do is I try to assign 1 to 2 hours in a specific days in a week for my book writing work, because that way plotting them in really helps me be more accountable of what I have to do for the week for that project. Because I have a lot of projects that I'm managing, and in that way I am able to see that I am actually working towards those goals and getting things done before the week ends. The idea of the Pomodoro method is simple. Work 25 minutes, take a break, and then repeat. This is great if you need a specific time frame to focus on what is needed and to avoid distractions. For artists, this can vary. Sometimes I'll end up working for an hour straight and my brain just instantly tells me to stop working, get out of my chair, and take a break. In a way, Pomodoro can be a companion or a variation of time blocking because it allows deep work to happen. So deep work can mean painting, writing, or even studying or reading. It's a kind of activity that enables you to be in a state of flow. So I can't really describe what flow is. It's basically like you're in the zone of things. If you watch the movie Soul, you'll understand what flow means in that context. And I've had a lot of my flow moments in a day. Having flow moments are also a sign that the work that you're doing is like top-notch, because you want to avoid distractions. You don't want to do anything. I notice when I'm in a flow state, I literally shove my phone somewhere in my room or in my studio where I don't see it, and I turn off my Wi-Fi. I'm just straight into writing, painting, or whatever design work that I'm doing. So the only thing that I have to make sure is when you're doing deep work, you have to be able to take a break as well, because if you exhaust that flow state for like the first half of the day, then the rest of the day you're probably exhausted, and that's not something we want to get into. You want to make sure that your energy sort of distributes evenly. That's why we do these Pomodoro methods and time blocking as key systems in order for you to manage your energy. Some people also prefer doing 50 minutes of work instead of 25 minutes, and that's also totally fine, and 10 minutes of rest. It really depends on the type of work that you're doing, and if it may require more minutes versus 25, that's totally fine. There are also a lot of apps that you can use for Pomodoro method. I think there are a lot of different apps on your phone as well as online. I personally recommend lifeapp.io. I really love the interface, and if you want to live vicariously through different sceneries, they have a lot there. Or you can simply use your phone timer. I suggest going on airplane mode. That way you are super focused and you really know what you have to do for that specific time frame. If you want to be in control of your own schedule and manage your time and creativity better, make sure to ask yourself these questions. The first one is, what do I want to accomplish in the next 3 months? So this can be a series of goals. Maybe you can set one goal for each month, or you can set 3 goals and then you can pinpoint which ones get more focus, like on month 1, month 2, month 3. It's something similar to what I told you about earlier. The second one is, what would you like to do more of with your time? This does not just mean like work-wise, but also what are your hobbies? What other activities do you want to really have time for? For example, if you want to do gardening, you want to do knitting, sewing, you want to watch Netflix more, how can you do that with the current schedule that you have? Here's a little tip from me. So, I try to work as fast as I can without sacrificing quality. And at the same time, I try to work early on in the week so that the remainder of the week, I don't really have to work and I have more time to watch Netflix. The final question is, are there any tasks that you've been putting off for so long? This is something that I highly recommend looking into, because there might be some tasks that you're avoiding, and what I like to do is, if I'm avoiding tasks, is I make sure to finish it within a week's time or 2 weeks time, just because it's so easy to just do it. It's just that some tasks seem a little small for us, that it's like, oh my gosh, I'll just do that next week, tomorrow, it's not as important. But I try to do that as early and as fast as possible. So some examples would be replying to emails. I've learned to reply later though, because I used to reply right in the middle of the day. Like, I would check the email and then I'll wait for the reply later on. I refresh my phone like it's my Instagram, and that felt really time consuming. So nowadays, I try to reply in like 1 or 2 days time. I don't think the world is ending if I don't reply to all these emails. But it's really important to look at these small tasks and really finish them. For example, for me, my goal is to try to reach inbox 0 by Saturday, because sometimes I still work on Saturdays, and then Monday can be like a little refresh, or if I have to check a couple of more emails, I can go ahead and do that. But it's really important to not put off these tasks, because the more you put them off, the more time it will take for you to go back to the task again, do it, and then get frustrated, and you're like, oh my gosh, I could have done this like 2 weeks ago. So it's really important to ask that. So make sure to take a screenshot of the homework. To recap, the questions are: what do you hope to accomplish in the next 3 months? What would you like to do more of with your time? And are there any tasks that you've been putting off for so long? Make sure to also comment down below if you have any thoughts about the homework, and I'd love to hear what you have to say. Remember that at the end of the day, it's really all about prioritization and figuring out what matters to you the most in terms of what you're working on, what time slots you are allotting to them, and how you're getting it done in the best way possible. I do hope this video gave you an insight on how I do my time blocking and also my system, and I am rooting for you on your time management journey. Again, if you want to check out my Notion setup tour, you can join our art club today at patreon.com/Abbey Sy. It's an art club where we provide ideas and inspiration for your creative journey. You can also meet like-minded creatives. We have an exclusive Discord group, as well as get to know more about your creative process and also hopefully unlock your creative potential. You can also check out our community page on Instagram. It's at alwaysbecreating.art, or you can follow me on Instagram. It's at Abbey Sy. Make sure to tag me if you're watching this video, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. Always be creating and take care. Bye!